ever again. Now then, if we go back to the question, this was a question about inheritance tax. It's also tied in with the budget. We've had one budget this year. Don't think you're not going to have another one, because there will be a budget again during June, I suspect, or maybe early July. So whatever's been in the manifestos, all right, treat that with a pinch of salt, because we're going to have much tougher measures. And one of the main conclusions of the Institute of Fiscal Studies report you were mentioning earlier was the complete vagueness of Labour, Cable, and the Tories on what their future tax proposals were. Now then, inheritance tax. After the Second World War, 1945, it saw the introduction of inheritance tax or death duties, as they were known then, by the Labour government. What was the consequence of that? Those farms and those estates which were under the threshold survived in a form. Those which were large enough to sell off a few Rembrandts or a few Van Goghs, they were able to pay those as well. That band of estates, because that's the level that were being hit. The middle-sized estates were absolutely hammered, they were broken up, and they disappeared. Right? Now, if the government, whichever colour it may be after the election, starts playing around with inheritance tax, there is a great danger now, because of the size of the thresholds, is those middle-sized farms are the ones which are going to be hammered once again. And the consequence of that, the only way of realising capital is actually to sell off land. And what are you doing? What are you doing? You're actually going against the direction in which farms quite often have to go. You've got to spread out your fixed costs and your overheads over as much an acreage as possible in order to ensure that you make a profit, so that your gross margin per hectare is sufficiently large to cover the overheads per hectare. And there is a great danger with inheritance tax, as Bryn Mawr is implying. Will start to decrease the size of will cause those middle-sized farms to have to break up. It has serious consequences on the structure of the industry, and that concerns me. Right? It's an important argument and an important point that Chancellors of the Exchequer have to take on board. And because in West Wales here we have farms of a certain size, and we will invariably fit into that middle barrier. And there is a danger that many farms, and many of our family farms, will be broken up because of changes to inheritance tax. And that's something that concerns me. And it's something we all need to be put pressure on the government, on our next MP, to ensure that it doesn't happen.